I want the Dr. Donna to come back. Those of you that are fans of the Tennant era will know exactly what I'm talking about. Those of you that aren't, what are you doing with your life? Doctor Who. I'm a huge Doctor Who fan, for those of you that didn't know. Big, huge one. Now, that being said, I haven't watched Doctor Who in years. Years! Since the beginning of the Peter Capaldi era. So yeah, I'm a couple of doctors behind. Not because I didn't want to, but because it moved over. They moved where you could watch it and all this and that. And I don't have cable and blah, 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 blah. And I just fell off. I still am a ridiculous fan of the David Tennant era. I love the David Tennant era. And when I say I'm a Doctor Who fan, it goes beyond the new incarnation of Doctor Who. The mid-2000s when Doctor Who came back. I watched Doctor Who. I grew up on Doctor Who back in the day. Tom Baker, things like that. So yeah, big Doctor Who fan. I do love this new one, and I think David Tennant, and a lot of people say this, I think David Tennant is the best damn Doctor. He's my favorite Doctor of all. But David Tennant's era ended quite a while back. Matt Smith famously came in after him, and him and the Amy Pond saga, which it became a little bit much with Amy, in my opinion, and some people's opinions. But then we moved on into Peter Capaldi came and took over. I have seen one season of the Peter Capaldi era. I think he did 2 or 3 seasons. And I enjoyed more than I thought his take on Doctor Who. I liked it. But then that's around the time that they switched where they were and all this and that, and I just fell off of it. The Jodie Whittaker, the first female Doctor, she came about a few years ago. I've not seen any of hers, and that is not because I have anything against Jodie Whittaker. I mean, I've heard things about that Doctor and this new Doctor that they've been doing. I haven't heard good things, honestly, but you know, I have no idea. I've not formed my own opinion about it. I've meant to get back into it, but I refuse to watch the Jodie Whittaker Doctor until I finish the Peter Capaldi one. So with this news here, I think I'm going to get caught up quickly here soon, because some good shit's coming out. Kind of, sort of. It's good overall. David Tennant did come back for the 50th anniversary, I believe it was. Damn near 10 years ago now. He came back for an episode with Rose. I cannot remember the young woman's name. She was back in it as well. He came back for one episode, and I think that was the one where Peter Capaldi, or he took over the next episode. Matt Smith was in it. Had all the Doctors come back. It's for the 50th anniversary. All right, so you're probably like, okay, great. Thanks for that oral history of you and Doctor Who. Why are you talking about this? Well, because Jodie Whittaker, the current Doctor, just had her series finale last night, and Jodie Whittaker, the 13th Doctor in the long-running sci-fi show Doctor Who, ended her time with the show as part of this week's season finale. Though instead of the sex education star Nuktai Gadwa, I'm sure I butchered that name, sorry, who had previously been announced as the Doctor, fans got a surprisingly familiar face. David Tennant, making Tennant the 10th and 14th Doctor now. Let me explain. Okay, so apparently, and I have not seen the episode, but Nukati Gadwa, I'm sorry about that name, dude. He was supposed to be taking, everybody knew that, yeah, he's going to be taking over the reins as Doctor Who at the end of this season. And typically, for those of you that aren't familiar with Doctor Who, at the end of a particular actor's run as the Doctor, he does what's called regenerating, and he kind of like becomes energy and then becomes another person. Still the same character, but it's another, he up until Jodie Whittaker, regenerates into a new looking human being, or a new looking being. And sometimes we'll have different mannerisms and things like that, but it is still the Doctor. So it's the same character all the way back from the 50s, or late 50s, early 60s. And that's what happened with Jodie Whittaker's character, but instead of being this Gadawa guy who everyone thought was going to be, or is going to be the Doctor, it's David Tennant. A lot of people's favorite Doctor, especially favorite living Doctor. And people apparently were like, holy shit, what's going on here? Well, the BBC reported that both Tennant and Catherine Tate, which we'll talk about her in a minute, are reprising their roles for the show's 60th anniversary. It's also been confirmed that they will appear in 3 special episodes airing November 2023. Gadua will take control of the TARDIS, that's the Doctor's ship, after Tennant and his first episode, with his first episode airing over the holidays in 2023 as part of the Who celebration. So in other words, what they're saying is there's going to be a year off of Doctor Who. Now that is not uncommon because Doctor Who sometimes, especially between doctors, have long stretches of time that the show's not on. By long stretches, I mean like a year. But they typically do holiday specials and stuff like that. And it looks like David Tennant and Catherine Tate, which was one of his companions that we have been waiting, fans of the Tennant era have been waiting to see the Dr. Donna, which her character Donna, come back for a long time. That's her here in the background. You've probably seen her in other things too. She's on The Office and some other stuff. She's a comedian. She had one of the coolest story arcs in David Tennant's Doctor Who series. It was actually there at the end of his run. She had one of the coolest little stories that we really wanted to see come back around, and it just never did. So I'm really looking forward to this. And apparently they're going to have a few specials, 3 or 4 specials next year, November next year. And then this guy will come over. But I guess David Tennant is now not just the 10th Doctor, because he was the 10th version, but he's the 14th. And then this new guy, Gadua, will be the 15th. So that's interesting. I wonder how they're going to do that. So yeah, I need to get caught up on this show so I can watch this thing. So I got a year, but I think I'm going to do it quicker than that because there's quite a few seasons I'm behind on. And I watch shit slow. But me, myself, I'm really excited about this because like I said, Tennant is my absolute favorite Doctor by far. I've got his sonic screwdriver. I dressed up as him at a con one time. Yeah, you're not getting pictures of that shit because I was a super dork. And just I love his character. My kids, my older kids now, back in the day, we all watched this together. They still love David Tennant's Doctor. It's just he is my Doctor, if you will. Now when you talk Tennant, he did have some comments on it as well. He says, "You move on from it with a whole mixture of emotions," Tennant told the BBC. "I thought it was something that I would certainly never be as involved in again. It's like being given the loveliest present, and I'm very, very excited. I'm thrilled and hope people enjoy the stories we've got to tell." So yeah, I mean, they don't really give any like details as far as like what these stories will be and all that. It doesn't matter. I hope it's like an overarching, because they said there's at least, I think 3 of them that Catherine Tate and David Tennant will be doing. So I'm really hoping it's like an overarching story over those 3. It's not just 3 months or the weeks. I hope it's like an overarching story and we find out more about the Dr. Donna. I want the Dr. Donna to come back. Those of you that are fans of Doctor Who and the Tennant era will know exactly what I'm talking about. Those of you that aren't, what are you doing with your life? Go get caught up and watch this shit. Love that fucking show. I love that era too. Also, in related news, by the way, I didn't want to do a whole story on this. This is the downside of all this, in my opinion at least. Might be an upside for people as far as getting exposure to Doctor Who, though. Doctor Who will also start streaming new episodes exclusively in the US and other territories that have this streaming platform on Disney Plus in November 2023. Motherfucker. Doctor Who is not a Disney property whatsoever, but apparently they have signed a deal with the BBC that anywhere that has Disney Plus, which they do not have in the UK, new episodes will be coming to Disney Plus and nowhere else. So starting November, if you want to see Doctor Who moving forward, you have to have Disney Plus. If you live here in the States and I think Australia, the places that have Disney Plus, that's the only place you're going to be able to watch it. Right now, I think it's on Amazon. I think all of them are on Amazon. Maybe it's Hulu. I think it's Amazon. So if you're interested in watching it now, all the great ones, go back and watch those. I have no idea if the new ones are going to be great because I haven't seen them yet. But that's just a little side story to it all. But hey, David Tennant making his triumphant surprise return. I kind of wish I didn't know that. They wouldn't have been able to keep this secret. I kind of wish I didn't know this and I would have just kind of like seen it. But I don't know how they would have like been able to spur me to get back to watching the show and get caught up to be prepared for it. So I guess kind of just had to tell us. But David Tennant is back as the Doctor. What are you Doctor Who, you Whovians out there? What do you think of that? Are you excited about it? Are you scared about it? Do you think it's going to be a good thing, a bad thing? Have you seen this final episode? I've not seen it. Was it kind of like a holy shit moment to see David Tennant come back as the Doctor? It would have been for me, that's for damn sure. Let me know in the comments below, and also let me know if you've seen Doctor Who your favorite Doctor is, if you're looking forward to this, or if you plan on maybe checking out Doctor Who now that you've heard me talk about it here. Let us know in the comments below.